Hey everyone, Rogue Leader here, back with another video, and today we have a review of set 75357, the Ghost and Phantom 2 with 1,394 pieces, 5 minifigures, and rated 10 and up. This is from the brand new Ahsoka show that is currently streaming on Disney Plus. I believe right now we're about halfway through the series, and I am loving it. The Ghost hasn't shown up a ton, but yeah, I am very much enjoying it, and this is a beautiful build. Minifigures are alright, build is beautiful, and if we're looking at just the build, not the minifigures, it's probably the second best besides the Venator that we're going to get this year. So yeah, let's take a look at those minifigures, and then we'll take a look at this beautiful build. All right, our first minifigure is the pilot of the Ghost, Hera Syndulla, and she's not wearing her Rebels attire. She's wearing her Ahsoka attire with the brown jacket, but you know, it's very similar. She's got those orange pants with the holster for her blaster, and then she's got this beautiful, beautiful head tail mold. We've got some very nice green printing on there. I guess it's white printing on green, and then of course the brown, which, yeah, actually the brown is printed, not dual molded, which is very cool. And then we have her goggles on top. Her head is a smile, and then on the other side we have a more angry look. And then we do have this logo on her jacket, which is the same logo that we see on the Ghost in the show. I don't actually think that this logo has been represented on this model, but yeah, it definitely exists. But yeah, overall, very good minifigure, and yeah, probably my favorite minifigure. Here we have Jacen Syndulla, the son of Hera and Kanan, and spoiler for the Ahsoka show, he does show up, and he has one slight inaccuracy. In the show, he does still have his green hair that we saw from the end of Rebels. Looks like Lego didn't quite get the memo, I guess, or something. Maybe they were looking at concept art when they made this set. But yeah, the should be green, not brown, but nothing you can do. Anyways, the head is a very nice, I believe it uses the new skin color tone that they used, that they introduced last year maybe. And yeah, so he's got a smile and then like a just kind of a happy expression. He actually uses Dwight Schrute's hair. Well, it was introduced before that, but it's definitely most recognizable from Dwight Schrute. And then his torso is just a brown jacket. Kind of reminds me of the Andor torso that we got from just last year. And then he's got short legs. Next up is Chopper, and Chopper is just a weird figure. You know, he uses a white torso but gray legs, which I think is just kind of confusing. I think they should have just picked one. I think they should have stuck with gray because he's more, you know, run down. He's not as brand new and pristine. And then they do have a white 1x1 tile stud thing on top of him to represent his radar dish that he rocks throughout Ahsoka and Rebels, which I think, you know, is accurate, but I don't really like the look of it. They did bring back his short legs that they used for the Chopper minifigures, so it's not using the actual full length legs, which is kind of cool. But yeah, and then he does have some back printing on both the I guess, torso part and then the head. Here is Lieutenant Beta, who's wearing a nice bright blue New Republic outfit. It looks like it's actually the pilot outfit that we got from the sequel trilogy sets, just in blue instead of orange. But yeah, and then of course he's a Mon Calamari, which has this beautiful head mold, which I believe is the exact same as the rest of the Mon Calamari we've been getting. And then he's got a blaster. And I believe this is the same torso that comes on, I think his name's Captain Porkins, maybe, from the, I don't know if it's Porkin, but the captain, the other pilot we got from the other set, the E-Wing set. But yeah, very good. And the last minifigure, probably the most boring, is First Officer Hawkins. Very cool. He uses the Sam Wilson Captain America hair and then a brand new face. And because the hair doesn't go all the way to the back, his head actually doesn't have a second face. But the torso is very nice. It's an updated Republic officer torso, or Rebel officer torso. So very cool to finally have that. But, you know, not much to say about this figure. Looks good, and I like him. Glad he's in here. Now, the overall Ghost is beautiful. I have just one problem with this build, and we'll get to that at some point. But yeah. First of all, the detailing is just beautiful. I love the sand green, the sand blue, the gray, the yellow, the red. It just all looks, you know, it looks like the Ghost. It's become an iconic ship over the last few years. I know, you know, when it first came out, it was like, it's just whatever. But, you know, for the last few years, this Ghost has become more and more of a classic. And, you know, some people even prefer it to the Millennium Falcon. And I'm indifferent. I like both of them. But, yeah, let's get started. We do have some front, I guess, inverted tile studs. So you got the anti-studs showing, which is just a really cool look. In the past Ghost model, these things lifted up, and you could store some projectiles. These do lift up, but that's just because of the angle. You can't put anything in there or do anything in there. And that's the same for all 4 of these panels. But then, you know, getting to the front, you will notice that this is I believe, completely mirrored ship. There's no, like, it's not like the Millennium Falcon where it's got, like, different, or like a Y-wing or something where it's got, you know, stuff here but not stuff there or stuff. But, yeah. Tons of stickers, I will tell you. There are actually 2 sticker sheets, one that is for the Phantom 2 and one that's for the physical Ghost. But yeah, one other thing is that in the past Ghost, they use these big cylinder pieces, half cylinder pieces, to create this, what is this, the airlock hatch. But now they've just used a bunch of pieces and it looks great. So yeah, let's, I guess, get into the interior. So up here we have the the nose gunner circle area, and you can pull down there if you want to try and get a figure in there. But, and you can also do the same up here, but the much easier thing is to just pull this entire thing out. And then you can come from behind and put in here your, you know, officer. You actually, if you look in there, they actually used an Inquisitor's lightsaber blade to get the handles, and I think that looks really cool. And then we've got the just some control panels on the side. You can set a minifigure in there, and you know, he's ready to go. Close that up, and then this kind of just pulls away. But the actual seat for the pilot, which is, you know, the actual pilot seat, not just the gunner, is right here. We got actually a different build for the controls. Something I don't like is the 4 studs that you use to hold down the minifigure. Would have preferred just 2 studs. That way, you know, you don't have that problem with the legs coming up or getting stuck on there. But you can just put her right there, and you know, she fits in there. So yeah. And then this part, there's actually, the cannon has a spinning thing right here. So you can see that this is very spinningness. But you can actually load these, or you can put this in. Make sure you put the yellow stud in between this area, and you can actually fire off the green things. I need to get those loaded once. Now that these are loaded, you can see that you can move this cannon left or right, and it'll shoot. So if I move it to the left, it'll shoot the right one, I believe. Yep, there you go. And then same thing over here. And so you can actually kind of see, flip that over. I think I just broke some of it, but yeah, you can flip it over and see how that mechanism works right here. This whole thing moves, and as it moves, it fires off the 2 spring load shooters. And then also, while we're under here, you got these 3 landing gears. Next up, we have the interior of the ship that can be accessed 2 ways. Actually, the main interior, of course, we already took a look at these 2 seats, but the first way is more for minifigures, in that there's a hatch down here. There's the same one on the other side, and you can take your minifigure and they can go all the way through and up there, and then you can close the hatch. And then the easier way, that's for us humans and not the minifigures, is just lifting this entire panel up right here. You can see it kind of comes off. You might actually have to take the the Phantom off, but you can just lift this whole thing off. And yeah, we'll take a look at that part in a second. But you can see just in there, if we shake it a little bit, you can see there's our minifigure we just shoved up there. A little bit of trouble getting them up there. I'll just pull them out through here. But yeah, you can see quite a spacious interior. In the last Ghost, there was no interior. It was pretty much just put the minifigures in the pilot and the gunner seat, and that's your interior. But there's a much bigger interior in here. I mean, you've got a sink right here, a little crate that has a Melurun, which is a fruit that Hera likes in Rebels. So yeah, and you know, that just goes in the corner right there. You got a few like pillars right here, I guess, I don't know. And then you've just got a bunch of open area for the minifigures to interact. And you have these, you actually have these caution signs right here. And then you have these two jumper plates, and you can actually put Chopper right there. And I'll show you why that's important here in a second. And then, yeah, just kind of, obviously not a minifigure scale interior. I would have loved if they had included like a chair or something, because we do see them like sit in chairs, and actually there's like a hollow table. If they could have maybe tried to include that, that would have been cool. But yeah, so yeah, and then let's come to this. This is the top panel. I'll go back down. This is the top panel. We do have this bendable part that's just to get the right angle. And then we have the one problem on the build I have, and that is these guns. They are just way too long. Like that, why are they reaching out so far? This is just, I think it's really just weird. I don't like it. But yeah. And then the one unfortunate thing is, another thing I don't like about it is, unlike the 2014 Ghost, this Top Gun does not spin. It's stuck in place, which is unfortunate, but understandable. It's much better and much more detailed. But you can take a minifigure like your, what's it, Beta, I think his name is. You can just put him in there, and actually, it looks like he's a little too, you might have to sit him down. But yeah, you can sit him down. And yeah, you can see that he just sits there. He doesn't have he won't fall out, but there's also no studs holding him in there. He just kind of sits there and relaxes, I guess, just like that. And, you know, his head just barely pokes out. But yeah, see a lot of just nice colors there. No like control panel or anything. But again, I wish this would spin, and also I wish that this wasn't so long, because it just looks really weird. I mean, I don't know if it looks as weird as it does for me because it's on camera, but if you have this in hand and you look at this, it's gonna look like really long, and you know, I don't like it. But just to put it back on, it's pretty straightforward. You just line it up and make sure that's all the way down, and then yeah, and then let's go to the side build, being the Phantom 2. And yeah, so this thing has a ton of stickers. It has one right there, one right there, there, and there. So that's like what, 2, 4, 6, 7 stickers, I believe. So yeah, on the back you've got the little container area with a pistol and a set of binoculars. That's pretty neat, I guess. A ton of cool angles. This is much tinier to the original Phantom 2, but you know, it's in much more scale with this overall build. But yeah, and then if you want to just put a minifigure in here, you just can do that. It will fit a tall minifigure, but we just have Jason right here. You can see him sort of through, but it does work if you want to take, I'm just using this minifigure a lot, but if you want to put that figure down, you can't. It does, you know, he will go in there just fine. And then the thing I said I'd come back to with Chopper is that there's a few extra studs right here. There's one extra stud, so you can actually grab him. But that jumper plate's actually for his body when his head is right here. So you can just put his head right there, and you know, where he is in the show, and he can fly around. And then his body won't get lost because he's just sitting there. And then to reattach it, just... actually, probably best to reattach this part first. I don't think this is held on by any studs. And then there's just a jumper plate and a thing right here. And then as for the engines, really cool and detailed. We got 4 of them, 2 smaller, 2 bigger ones. And the bigger ones actually have a hot dog right here. I'll take that off. They have a hot dog right here in gray being used, so pretty cool. But yeah, that's the set. Love this set. Definitely recommend buying. Much better. You know, I know a lot of people last year were talking about how the Justifier is overpriced. This one's not. I know the, you know, price per piece might not be what you want, but trust me, it is very worth it. And of course, I doubt anyone's going out to spend $700 on the original Ghost. So yeah, anyways, that's my review. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.